Before the year kicks off with new flagships at MWC, there's still one really interesting smartphone I didn't get round to at the very tail end of 2019, and it's this, the Fairphone 3. It's the third iteration, obviously, of the modular recyclable concept embodied by the name. In Phone Show 278, I reviewed the slide-apart Fairphone 2, and this updates the ideas and specifications across the board. Which is not to say it's a flagship, a Snapdragon 632 chipset with 4GB of RAM, 64GB of storage plus microSD, a single 12-megapixel unstabilized camera and a single speaker, a 1080p IPS screen, all screen mid-range really, and it demonstrably is, but all of that's missing the point. £380 or so gets you here. Firstly, a phone you can repair in minutes with zero risk. Peel the back off, you see a mass of small crosshead screws. The only accessory in the box is a screwdriver. A few minutes with this and the components all fall out for repair if needed. All the components are on the Fairphone website, so drop this or have a water accident and it's almost certain that you can repair it yourself without breaking out hair dryers or fiddling around with Torx or pentalobe screws. Secondly, there's the eco story, from sourcing components responsibly, to recycling your old phone properly, to eliminating needless phone scrapping after minor breakage, to not even including a cable or charger in the box. It's assuming you have these from other phones. It's all about taking a stand against modern glass sandwich phone wastage. When Fairphone first launched in the days of more chat about modular smartphones, the idea was that you could replace your, say, camera if Fairphone made a better component available. Those halcyon ideas have dimmed over time, but being able to swap out a battery either a year down the line to get one with full capacity or simply to have a spare for slapping in on a trip, it still entices. The big question is whether you're so committed to all this that you'll sacrifice performance and appearance. The screen's decent for IPS but lacks AMOLED's punch, of course. The chipset gets you through most applications, but you're always aware there's just a little lag here and there, a bit more delay when installing apps or games. More so-so components across the board, a decently loud single speaker with reasonable fidelity. Here's a demo, full volume. The speaker outputs to a port on the side, which is quite easy to block with a finger, but it's decent enough. The vibration haptics, by the way, are terrible. Too weak and too elongated, are best turned off. The 12-megapixel camera has dual pixel autofocus and is pretty good as long as you have steady hands. There's no OIS, but there's clearly some software magic, as even low light shots are okay. Though not as good as if you install the Google Pixel camera port from XDA or similar, which I did and got results immediately. Utterly unsupported, but much better shots, including with Google's night sight mode, all similar to photo results from the original Pixel 1, though with 20-second or so HDR processing per photo. In the background, it doesn't affect the UI, but worth noting nonetheless. See the comparisons and examples here anyway. They show the differences between photos taken with the Fairphone camera app, GCam, and then in low light with Google's night sight. Amazing what software can do, eh? You do get Bluetooth 5 plus the latest Wi-Fi protocols plus NFC for Google Pay in conjunction with an interesting capacitive fingerprint sensor on the back. It works well enough, but it's positioned so high up on the back that it's a stretch for the index finger and will require some muscle memory learning. A 3000 mAh battery easily gets through the day, mainly thanks to the mid-range internals and the lack of interest in anyone spending hours in front of the Fairphone 3 watching media. Plus, there's a 3.5mm audio jack. Of course, did you think something this flexible would miss out a headphone port? Output is decent too, using the Snapdragon's own DAC, but it's fun to have this back anyway, after looking at flagships in 2020. Well, what else? It's dual SIM plus microSD, so you don't have to compromise. Perfect for travelling away from the UK, perhaps. It's Android 9 and very, very stock with zero bloatware. You just add what you want and build as you go. And bang up to date with the review device on January 2020 security. Fairphone claims 5 years of software updates for this device, backing up the long-term ownership pitch and lack of waste. Admittedly, these might all just be security updates, but still 5 years? Although the Fairphone 3 is a little thicker than most phones from late 2019, it should be noted you don't really need a case, so there's a saving there, and the outer plastic is quite tough, plus you get a bumper in the retail case for extra protection and to avoid scuffing the main chassis. The bumper was missing on my review unit, but otherwise I would show it here. Aside from the understandably underwhelming internals, the main thing I didn't like on the phone was the button placement. The main power wake button is on the left-hand side. Perhaps the phone was designed by a left-hander. The buttons are also not very proud of the edge and they take some pressing to operate. I'd have liked to have seen more relief and lighter feel. Now, some of the placement oddities, such as the off-center Type-C port, are down to the way the internals are designed to be user removed and easy access. So I'm cutting Fairphone some slack here. Lots of pros and cons overall. The pros are all the admirable eco features. The cons are in the day-to-day usability aspects. So just how committed are you to sustainability and repairability? I'd like to claim that this is me down to a T, but I don't think I could live personally with the chipset under heavy app load, and I do secretly prefer AMOLED screens. I hate that power button every time. I always power the screen on with the fingerprint sensor itself badly placed. Oh well. Continued kudos to Fairphone though for their vision. It's an utter breath of fresh air in 2020's glued in, easy to smash and hard to repair smartphone world. Now, make me a Fairphone 4 with stereo speakers, repositioned power button and better camera and I'm all in.